What's up, guys? This is Chris from draftdashboard.com. Here are my DFS picks for MLB Wednesday, April 3rd. These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for today's MLB slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, we have a 5-game MLB slate tonight, so let's take a look at the pitcher position. So I like Christian Javier. He's got a 4% pitching advantage here versus the Toronto Blue Jays. Now, Christian Javier only giving up a .641 OPS versus righties, so he pitches his best ball versus righty batters. He's facing 6 righties here tonight, and on top of that, the Blue Jays have only hit 10 of his last 46 pitches. That's a .217 batting average. So Christian Javier is 8,800 DraftKings salary, and he averaged 15 fantasy points per game on the season last year, but he's off to a hot start here. He scored 23, 29, and 23 fantasy points in the last 3 games. And last year he had an ERA of 4.56. His record was 10-5, pitching an average of 87 pitches per game. So I like Christian Javier here versus the Toronto Blue Jays. Okay, let's take a look at the catcher position. So I like Victor Caratini. He's got an 18% batting advantage over Chris Bassitt. So Victor Caratini, he bats 18% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .745 OPS versus righties. And Chris Bassitt does pitch his worst ball versus lefty batters, giving up a .832 OPS versus lefties. So Victor is 0 for 2 here versus Bassitt, but it looks like he's got a walk in there. He's 2,900 DraftKings salary. He averaged 6 fantasy points per game on the season last year. So I like Victor Caratini as a value play here versus Chris Bassitt. Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching. If you want to enter the drawing for $25 PayPal, all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won. And then we'll send you $25 PayPal. So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you. Okay, let's take a look at the first base position. So stud on the slate, I like Cody Bellinger. Got a fantastic matchup here versus Cal Quantrill. But if you're looking for a value play, take a look at Rowdy Tellez. He's got a 19% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, Trevor Williams. Rowdy Tellez batting 23% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .688 OPS versus righties. Trevor Williams, he's giving up a .879 OPS versus lefties. Rowdy Tellez is 1 for 2 here versus Williams. Only 2,800 DraftKings salary. Now he averaged 5 fantasy points per game on the season. I think he hit 12, 13 home runs, something like that. And he scored 18 fantasy points last game. So I think he's got a good matchup here and low price tag. So good risk reward with this pick. So I like Rowdy Tellez here versus Trevor Williams. Okay, let's take a look at the second base position. So you're looking for a stud pick here. You can go Mookie Betts, but he's also a shortstop. You got Luis Garcia Jr., who looks like a good value play. But if this guy does play, it looks like he's questionable with a foot injury. But if he does play, take a look at Jared Triolo. And he's got a 5% batting advantage here over Trevor Williams. And Jared Triolo batting a .786 OPS versus righty pitchers. Trevor Williams pitching his worst ball versus righty batters, giving up a .917 OPS versus righties. Now there's no at-bats versus Williams yet, but Jared Triolo, only 3,400 DraftKings salary here if he plays, averaging 7 fantasy points per game on the season, scored 17, 10, and 4 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So if he does play, I like Jared Triolo here versus Trevor Williams. And if you're concerned about that questionable tag, you're not going to be around to check your lineup, you can just go ahead and plug in Luis Garcia Jr. for 3,200 DraftKings salary. He's got a 20% batting advantage here over Mitch Keller, so I like him as well. Okay, so let's take a look at the third base position. Oh, I actually had Jared Triolo as my third baseman, gave him up at second base. You got Max Muncy as the stud on the slate. That's kind of how it's looking here. I would probably go with Jared Triolo or pay up for Max Muncy. Okay, let's take a look at the shortstop position. You got Mookie Betts as a stud pick. You want a value play or you want to save a little bit of salary here, take a look at Ezekiel Tovar. And he's got a 45% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, Luke Little. So Ezekiel Tovar batting a little bit better versus lefty pitchers, batting a .708 OPS versus lefties. Luke Little pitching his worst ball versus righty batters, 43% worse than his other pitches, giving up a .754 OPS versus righties. So Ezekiel Tovar, he's 3,600 DraftKings salary, averaging 7 fantasy points per game on the season. Good matchup here tonight, so I like Ezekiel Tovar here versus Luke Little. Okay, let's take a look at the outfield position. So, start on the slate, Yordan Alvarez in a fantastic spot, got him as a home run hitter here versus Chris Bassitt, and that's because Yordan Alvarez is 5 for 15 here versus Bassitt. That's a .333 batting average, and 4 of those 5 hits were for home runs. So he's in a fantastic spot. He's 5,800 DraftKings salary, but with a lot of value on the slate, you should be able to fit him in. You could also go with Cody Bellinger as a stud pick or Brian Reynolds. Looking to save some salary on this at this position, take a look at Kerry Carpenter, and he's got a 37% batting advantage over Adrian Hauser. So Kerry Carpenter batting 22% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .841 OPS versus righties. Adrian Hauser, he is pitching his worst ball versus lefty batters, 15% worse than his pitch to righties, giving up a .798 OPS versus lefties. Now there's no at-bats versus Hauser yet. It's only 3,800 DraftKings salary. He's averaging 8 fantasy points per game on the season. Scored 0, 17, and 8 fantasy points in the last 3 games. Only got 1 at-bat last game, so he should be good to go here tonight. So I like Kerry Carpenter here versus Adrian Hauser.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smickety smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this MLB slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again and good luck.